Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. Slight relief. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. I really would appreciate if you do subscribe if you're not subscribed. Remember, we do not run any paid promotions. We do not have any affiliate links. We also do not even have AdSense enabled on this channel. So please subscribe and show your support. Let's go ahead and jump in. So, Bitcoin has rallied back up a little bit, approximately $3,000. Now, of course, no one here, as we always say, no one's getting out of bed for a $43,000 Bitcoin by any stretch of the imagination, but it is nice to get a little bit of relief, okay? And, we speculated yesterday that we could be seeing some relief in the not-so-distant future, considering that our in terms of looking at really short time frames, say like the 4-hour time frame, we looked at the 4-hour RSI. We were noting that, hey, it hasn't really been this low since September of last year. In fact, was the last time it had reached that level, and which also actually happened to correspond to the 20-week moving average, right? I mean, it also actually happened to correspond to a dump to the 20-week, okay? And we're looking at the same thing now, right? A dump to the 20-week, and we went down to those levels. So at least in the short term, Bitcoin has provided us with a little bit of relief. Now, we are still on watch, okay? We're still on watch. The watch being, we want to see if in fact Bitcoin can hold the line, okay? Our watch has not ended yet. Our watch has not ended yet, and it will only end once Bitcoin has definitively proved on a multi-week time frame that it can in fact hold the bull market support band as support. If that happens, then we should have clear skies ahead, okay? But it is an important test, and it is a necessary test, and we prepared for this for months. Even when we were down here, we prepared for it. We said, hey guys, one day we're going to rally above it. I didn't know when it was going to come. I said 3 to 6 months, right? But we said one day we're going to rally above it. The real test is not getting above it, okay? It never really is. The real test is coming back down because when you come back down, that's what scares people, okay? When you go up like this, if you get rejected on the way up, it never feels like you even made it to that bullish area again, so the euphoria hasn't quite re-entered the market. But when you, imagine if Bitcoin had just stopped this rally at 43K rather than going all the way up to 53, then I don't think anyone would have been, the market would not have really felt any much different than it had already felt, because we had already had a rally up to 41K or so. So if the rally had stopped shy of 43K, it wouldn't really have been that big of a deal. The real test always comes on the way back down, because that's when momentum. Remember, momentum is what drives the market, and on these shorter term time frames and whatnot, everyone loves to use traditional TA, and hey, maybe there's some room for it for some people. But at the end of the day, the one thing you can generally take to the bank is momentum. And the whole idea is that when something is moving up, it's more likely to move up than something that's not. You could also say the reverse. When something's moving down, it's more likely to keep moving down than something that's not. So what that means, if I were to take Bitcoin when it's moving up over here, and then I were to take some other random asset in the world, whether it be a stock, a commodity, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. And if that other asset were either going sideways or going down, whatever, we would just basically say, an asset that's moving up is more likely to move up in the future, in say the immediate future. It's more likely to move up than an asset that's not already moving up. That's the idea. Now, eventually, of course, these things come to pass, and you'll see changes in momentum. Okay, you will see changes in momentum. But when you're living through the momentum, generally the better strategy is to assume that it'll keep going higher until there's some definitive momentum shift back to the downside. Now, with crypto, you have to be careful about that. That doesn't mean you just keep buying and buying and buying into a bubble, but the whole idea is that the more likely path remains up when it's continuing to move up. And then at some point, you'll see the momentum start to shift, okay? and you have to break the momentum. You have to break the momentum. And this is sort of goes back to the stock market. Everyone in the stock market always calls for 40-50% corrections. But the truth is 40% corrections in the stock market don't really happen that frequently. And I said back last year, I said, there really isn't any signs of a stock market crash similar to March of 2020. Even if the stock market continues to pull back now, I would argue that it's more likely to just have like a 10 or 15% correction, not another 40% correction. Probably not for a while. Probably not for quite a while. Probably not this year. Probably not next year. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it will happen at some point. Now, the momentum down it's scarier than the momentum up. Okay, because when you're moving up to the 20-week. You have that momentum. Everyone's happy. If we get rejected back down, well, it's like, all right, well, we just had a pretty nice rally. When you get above the bull market support band, like this, okay, you go up to 53K, and then you come down, it's a bit scarier. Why? Because the bull market support band is what separates us from being bullish or bearish, okay? And this is the line in the sand that separates altcoins from being bullish or bearish. A lot of cryptocurrencies are still doing relatively well. Bitcoin's at 43K. Ethereum is at about 3K. And it's at 29.97. ADA's at 218. If we go look at some of these other ones, DOT is at $30. Link's at $23, $24. Considering where they could be right now, they're still doing relatively well. Now, what would happen if Bitcoin fell below the 20-week? Well, it would be catastrophic for altcoin Bitcoin pairs. We know that. You don't need me to tell you that. You already lived through it back over here. You already lived through it. You know what to expect. That doesn't mean you have to go do anything about it, right? It just means your expectations are set if we fall below. But for now, Bitcoin has given us some breathing room, okay? The breathing room being that the 20-week SMA is all the way down at 40.7 or 40.8K. It, of course, depends on what exchange you use. We already had a wick down below 40K, but I told you guys, wicks don't count. We don't care about wicks. All we care about are weekly closes. Okay, we don't care about wicks down here. No one's getting out of bed for a wick. We just care, can the weekly close be in the bull market support band or above it? Okay. Now, I've gotten some questions, what if it closes in the middle of it? It's still technically fine, okay? The whole idea of the bull market support band, the 20-week SMA, the 21-week EMA, is that, there should be somewhat of a range that you would want to hold as support. To just give a very specific number it's very dubious indeed. To slightly reduce the level of dubiousness involved, we have a bull market support band where we would like to hold as support in that range. It goes, if you go back and say, look at 2013, we were in that range for a little while, where we were below the 20-week, but above the 21-week EMA. And we actually had a couple of weekly closes below it, but then we were still in that range. We got above it, and then we were off to the races. So you could still consider this as holding as support, as long as we're not continuing to put weekly close after weekly close below it. Okay? So for now, we will continue to see if Bitcoin can in fact hold the line. The whole purpose of watching right now, our watch, is to see if Bitcoin can hold the line. The 20-week SMA and the 21-week EMA, this is the last line of defense for the bulls on the weekly time frame. Okay, if they can't hold this, then something's going to give down here. Okay, if they can't hold it, something's going to give. This is the test we've been waiting for. This is the third week. Week 1 was a wick. Week 2 was a wick. Week 3, so far, we're still in it. We don't know yet. We don't really know what's going to happen for the rest of the week. So let's keep a close eye on it. In the short term, at least, we've gotten a little bit of relief. So we're not having to constantly watch it go right below 40K and whatnot. So we have gotten a little bit of relief here in the short term. We'll see what pans out over the course of the week. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the premium list. You can find that at intothecryptoverse.com. You'll get access to weekly reports and videos, the Telegram alerts channel, the Telegram chat room, the risk dashboard, the Into the Cryptoverse app, and more. Make sure you guys check it out. Definitely subscribe, click the bell icon to turn on notifications, and I will see you next time.